Morning, America. Fires and floods striking part of the nation this morning. Wildfires raging out of control in Arizona. The fires exploding in size. Planes and helicopters called in to fight the flames, while in the south, water rescues. Cars stranded, churches flooded, and the forecast for lots more rain on the way.
New overnight tariff deal. President Trump suspending his threat to Mexico, citing a deal on migrants and protecting the southern border. What Mexico is promising to avoid those tariffs and the presidential demand that wasn't met.
Breaking overnight, safe and sound. A missing hiker rescued after a week in the Arkansas wilderness.
Did you advise you have him? I do have him.
The treacherous conditions he had to contend with.
We've got wildlife to contend with, snakes and bears and stuff like that.
Before help finally arrived.
Arnold's Army, Arnold Schwarzenegger's bodyguard training a taser on this man. What caused him to pull out his weapon to protect the Terminator?
And Raptors soaring. Toronto taking Game 4 of the NBA Finals, leaving the Warriors in an unfamiliar position. Down 3-1. Can Golden State battle back? Drake's take on it all.
We are live. We are live.
And could Kevin Durant be the Warriors' last hope? All the drama on and off the court.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Can we just talk about how nuts it is that Golden State is down?
They're down.
They're such a stacked team.
Back against the wall. But, I mean, good for the... I'm from the Bay Area, so I support the Warriors. But good for the Raptors, though. Always love an underdog story.
I spent some time recently with some friends from Toronto. This is a huge deal for people in Toronto.
Well, they've never won before.
Never.
So this could be history in the making.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. We'll have much more on this wild series coming up, but we start here this morning with the twin weather-related emergencies.
Yeah, overnight, a major wildfire flaring up north of Phoenix. Look at these flaming hills. This is in Tonto National Forest. Authorities believe this fire is human-caused, and it comes as the American West is bracing for a big blast of heat with temperatures approaching and exceeding 110 degrees.
And meanwhile, they're dealing with flash flooding in the southeast, where there have been relentless rounds of rain. So let's kick things off here with Rob, who's covering all of this. Rob, good morning to you, sir.
Hey, good morning, Dan. You know, the southern plains and the mid-south have been dealing with those rising waters, still rivers and flood stage there. That system now sliding to the southeast, very slow moving. We got heavier rain today. This, while in the west, wildfire season has begun. This morning, wildfires raging out of control, lighting up the Arizona sky. Crews still battling the so-called mountain fire of Phoenix that exploded overnight from 30 acres to over 6,000. Helicopters and planes frantically dropping retardant and water, trying to slow the wildfire down. Its massive plume of smoke detected on National Weather Service radar, reaching nearly 2 miles in the sky. Also this morning, flash flooding striking parts of the south. Rapidly rising water stranding cars in North Carolina. You see firefighters pushing vehicles to safety. In Virginia, rain causing high waters on roads there, and authorities putting up barricades to keep cars away from the danger. And in Tennessee, flash flooding filling 2 churches with several feet of water. First responders called in with boats to rescue at least 5 people. This system has a tropical connection, and because of that, the rainfall rates have been anywhere from 2 to 3 inches per hour, and obviously that causes the flash flooding, and it's moving really slow. It's kind of cut off from the main flow, so we've got flash flood watches that are still posted for parts of Kentucky, and the Ohio Valley back through the Carolinas as well, and there's that surge of tropical moisture. If we time it out, really, you don't see it moving all that quickly right through tomorrow, even into Sunday. Atlanta, Louisville, Charlotte, Columbia, Charleston. Now, some of these areas do need the rainfall. They'll take it. They just don't want to see it all at once, obviously. We could see locally 4+ inches as we go through tomorrow. More on this and the fires out west in a little bit. Right over to you.
All right, Rob, we know you'll be tracking it all. We'll check back with you soon. We do want to transition to President Trump suspending his threat to impose tariffs on Mexico. The 2 countries reaching an agreement on dealing with migrants at the southern border. ABC's White House correspondent Tara Palmieri is on the North Lawn with the very latest. Tara, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. It's been a tense couple of days over here. Negotiators have been scrambling since President Trump threatened to slap tariffs on Mexican goods. They were worried it could cause an economic crisis, not just affecting U.S. businesses, but also consumers on everything from the price of cucumbers to car parts. Overnight, the president backing down on his threat to slap tariffs on Mexican goods after Mexico agreed to new measures to stop the flow of migrants through the U.S. southern border.
They're letting millions of people walk up through their country.
After touching down in Washington, Trump tweeting that the 5% tax on Mexican goods set to take effect on Monday are, quote, hereby indefinitely suspended. Mexico and U.S. officials emerging with the deal late Friday night after 3 days of frantic negotiations. Mexico agreeing to a show of force, sending 6,000 troops to its southern border with Guatemala.
Mexico will take unprecedented steps to increase enforcement to curb irregular migration.
The Mexican government also vowing to crack down on human trafficking and smuggling networks.
Those crossing the U.S. southern border to seek asylum will be rapidly returned to Mexico, where they may await the adjudication of their asylum claims.
The 11th hour deal comes to the president face opposition from his own party.
Well, there is not much support in my conference for tariffs, that's for sure.
Trump threatened to increase the tariffs every month by 5% until they reached 25%, or until Mexico took steps to curb the flow of migrants. Both Democrats and Republicans feared U.S. consumers would bear the brunt of the costs.
And Tara Palmieri is back with us from the White House. And Tara, we've seen President Trump touting this deal on Twitter, but he didn't get everything he wanted.
That's right, Whit. President Trump originally demanded that all asylum seekers from Central America apply for asylum in Mexico and not the U.S., but Mexico managed to skirt that part of the deal. President Trump also promised on Twitter that Mexico would buy more U.S. agricultural products, but that language never made it in the deal either. Whit?
All right, Tara Palmieri at the White House. Thank you.
Whit and Tara, thank you both. A lot to talk about here. So let's bring in a ringer, ABC News chief political analyst Matthew Dowd, who joins us from Texas. Matthew, good morning. The president faced a lot of criticism from both parties for threatening tariffs. But this new deal, even though he didn't get everything he wants, it really looks like it could be spun as a victory. So what say you?
Well, I think you could spin it right now as an apparent success, but two things related to it, I think. First is we often know that what the president says happened or what he says was promised doesn't actually follow through. We remember full well all his conversation related to North Korea. It doesn't often come through the way it's supposed to happen. And I'll give you a Golden State reference in this. Just because Steph Curry hits a three-point shot in Game 2, it doesn't mean he's won the series. And there's a lot more things that have to happen related to our economy, related to other trade relations with other foreign countries, and specifically related to Mexico, as I say, from how they follow through. So a lot more to go on this path towards success.
And there are signs of late that our economy is slowing down. Though let me stay on this immigration issue. I want to show you some numbers that appear to be on the president's mind as he threatens tariffs against Mexico. 144,000 migrants were stopped at the southern border in May alone. That puts the U.S. on track to reach 1 million migrants stopped at the border this year. That would be double last year's number. So cutting down on illegal immigration, as we all know, was a huge campaign issue for the president in 2016. If he doesn't bring these numbers back down, do you think that's going to hurt him with his base in 2020, or is he bulletproof there?
Well, I think that's the real question. I don't think it'll lessen his margin among the base. I think he's got a pretty solid third of the country in this. But I think it's a question of how motivated they'll be if the signature thing that he campaigned on and this signature thing he said he wanted to do in his course of presidency, he hasn't been successful. And he hasn't built that many, as we know, he hasn't built that many miles of wall as he promised in this. So I think, one, in 2020, and we're a long way away, he's going to be judged on that signature promise and whether or not he did stop the flow of illegal immigration, and he's going to be judged on the state of the economy. And both of those things, I think, are in question as we head into 2020.
Matthew Dowd, always great to see you on a Saturday morning. Thank you very much, sir.
Great to be here.
Well, now to more breaking news. A hiker lost for a week in the Arkansas wilderness rescued overnight. Joshua McClatchy's family never giving up hope he'd be found. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez joins us with more. Good morning, Marcy.
Eva, good morning. His family says he had never hiked in this particular area, but was prepared. Friends tell us he somehow got disoriented and ended up in an area so remote it took rescuers 4 hours to carry him to safety. This video capturing the overwhelming relief moments after Joshua McClatchy was rescued overnight, found nearly a week after disappearing while hiking in Arkansas.
I never thought I'd see anybody again.
Cell phone data helping rescuers narrow down their search area.
Did you advise you have him? I do have him.
And a National Guard helicopter with infrared finally spotting him in a hard-to-reach, rugged area.
By the time he saw us, I mean, he thought his rescuers were angels.
McClatchy was visiting from Fort Worth to celebrate his 38th birthday, setting out for a hike on the mountainous Buckeye Trail by himself Friday, sending his mother photo and text updates. The first coming in at 11:27 Saturday morning. Then this photo, his view from the trail at 12:09 p.m. Several hours later, she got a jarring update.
I checked my phone and noticed that at 4:51, he had texted letting me know that he needed help.
That text reading, "Hey Mom, I need your help. Remain calm and we'll get through this." He went on to write, "I'm dehydrated and getting low on water. I have bad reception and can't make calls," and giving her a rough idea of his location. Then the messages stopped. Friends say McClatchy somehow got turned around and disoriented on the trail.
Most of the search and rescue team were ecstatic, and one of the best rescues they had participated in. And it was just incredible seeing him come out of the woods with the team and just be welcomed to his family and friends who were waiting for him when he got out.
Yeah, we're told McClatchy is in good spirits and in a hospital being treated for dehydration. His friends calling it a miracle that the weather, which had slowed search efforts, finally cleared enough for that helicopter to head out to find him. Whit.
Great to see that smile on his face during the rescue as well. Marcy Gonzalez for us, thank you so much. We want to transition to Texas. The Coast Guard searching for a missing boater identified as the chief of Kemah Police, Chris Reed. Police say Reed, who is an Army veteran, was out on the water with his wife Friday afternoon when their fishing boat was hit by a big wake from a passing boat, which sent him overboard. It's believed he was not wearing a life jacket.
Now to the U.S. and Russia, both blaming each other after a ship from each Navy nearly collided. ABC's Lana Zak is in Washington with this story. Good morning, Lana.
Good morning, guys. Take a look at these aerial images. The USS Chancellorsville and a Russian destroyer on a literal collision course, coming within 50 to 100 feet of one another. From on board, the proximity was so close, Americans could see Russian sailors appearing to sunbathe on deck. The U.S. says it took emergency measures to avoid catastrophe, waving off a helicopter that was planning to land on the Chancellorsville, throwing all engines into reverse at full throttle. The incident took place near islands locked in a dispute between China and Japan, a U.S. ally.
And Lana, Acting Secretary of Defense Patrick Shanahan said Russia's move was unsafe and unprofessional. That war of words is continuing this morning.
That's right, Eva. This is just the latest in what the U.S. military and NATO say are dangerous military maneuvers from Russia. U.S. Admiral John Richardson is calling the Russians out on Twitter. He's writing that the U.S. Navy will not be deterred from supporting the free and open use of the seas and skies where international law clearly allows all to operate. But a Russian military leader is now claiming that the U.S. purposefully tried to flex its military might as Chinese President Xi Jinping was meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. Dan?
Thank you, Lana Zak. Another troubling story of a very different variety this morning. As people all over the world are celebrating Pride Month, police in 3 major cities are investigating possible hate crimes targeting the LGBTQ community. And ABC's Zachary Keish is here with more.
The encounters have been violent and even deadly. This morning, a community on edge after at least 3 separate attacks targeting the LGBTQ community in recent weeks. In England, 2 women were beaten and robbed on a London city bus, allegedly targeted because they were lesbians. They shared the experience and graphic photos on Facebook.
They started very aggressively harassing us.
The couple telling the BBC that things quickly turned violent.
Fighting broke out and they took my phone, her bag, and they ran off the bus.
2 other attacks, both fatal, are being investigated as hate crimes right here at home. In Detroit, this man, now identified as Devin Robinson, has been charged and after pleading not guilty, was arraigned in connection with killing 3 members of Detroit's LGBTQ community.
It's rough.
We just want justice. Justice.
Justice for
yeah, just justice. Just for all of them.
LGBTQ youth really feeling concerned and afraid and attacked for being who they are.
In Atlanta, Ronald Peters was killed. His neighbor says he witnessed the attack.
He didn't deserve that. The driver jumped out with a mask on, and you hear pop, and Trey just locked up and fell over.
Authorities are still searching for any leads in Peter's case, now turning to the public for any information that could help identify the killer. Georgia is one of 4 states, along with South Carolina, Wyoming, and Arkansas, without an official hate crimes law.
You know, we've made so much progress on this issue in the last decade or so, but obviously there's more work to be done based on your reporting.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Incredible strides, but the fight for equality obviously still continues.
And just be kind to one another. That's the bottom line.
No doubt.
Yes.
Well, now to the NBA Finals, and the Raptors just soaring, taking Game 4, now leading the series 3-1. ABC's TJ Holmes is in Oakland, where the Warriors, they're finding themselves in a little bit of an unfamiliar position. Good morning, TJ.
Hey, good morning, and 2 words for you this morning, Eva. Uh-oh. We could be watching the end of an era, the end of a dynasty, the end of a championship run by these Golden State Warriors after the Raptors came in here, not just stole 2 games here at Oracle, but took them in commanding fashion and are now just a win away from their first championship in franchise history. If Golden State is going to come back, they are going to have to make some history of their own.
Lowry, back to Ibaka, but a slam. Great extra.
The defending champs are on the brink of elimination.
They've looked vulnerable, looked beatable.
In front of a stunned crowd, the Toronto Raptors took a commanding 3-1 lead over the Golden State Warriors in their own building.
Warrior fans leaving Oracle Arena. Will it be the final time?
The Raptors were again led by Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard dominating right now.
Who made big shot after big shot on his way to scoring 36 points. The Warriors, who have been hobbled by injuries, got some much-needed firepower back. Klay Thompson, who missed Game 3, was in good form.
Klay Thompson lighting it up.
Klay was amazing. I mean, you know, with a tweaked hamstring to do what he did.
But his 28 points weren't enough. But despite some impressive offensive performances, this was a defensive battle that left some on both squads battered, even bloody. Raptors guard Fred VanVleet needed 7 stitches and a new tooth after taking an elbow to the face.
You see that left elbow right smack into the face.
Meanwhile, Toronto superfan Drake had a question for the Warriors faithful.
We all at? We all at?
The last time this Warriors team overcame a 3-1 deficit was in 2016 when Kevin Durant was playing against them. Now Durant could be their last hope.
And as far as KD, there's been hope that he will come back the whole series.
There's only been one instance in NBA history that a team has come back from 3-1 down to win the title. And that happened to these Warriors just a few years ago, 2016, when LeBron and company came back from 3-1 down. I was a little bit sad in here last night, guys, because Oracle Arena is going to be shutting down for these Warriors, at least. They're moving to their new billion-dollar digs across the bay at the new Chase Center. So this could have been the last game, the last time these Warriors in their 47 years they've been in this building could have been the last game they ever play here, guys.
I do want to point out, we had a conversation last week, and you actually called this possibility of Toronto winning this whole thing.
Well, again, I talked to my guys, the experts, the NBA guys. I'm not taking credit for this, but they saw something in that Game 1 that they thought this thing could be over in 5, even 6 games, and wouldn't have been surprised by a sweep. Toronto is a dominant, long, young, athletic team, and look, the Warriors are depleted. They've got some injuries, not using that as an excuse, but they have been just wounded Warriors for a while. So right now they look outmanned and outgunned.
TJ just broke a fundamental Harris rule, which is never pass up an opportunity to take credit, even if you didn't do it.
Yeah. We usually take our sports predictions from Mr. Dan Harris.
Yeah. Hockey is so exciting.
But I can say, as a Warriors fan, Oracle Arena, the idea that may be the last game at the arena, it's a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
Well, you can see Game 5 of the NBA Finals Monday night. It won't be at Oracle Arena. That'll be right here on ABC, 9 Eastern Time.
TJ says there's a chance, though, so we'll cling to that.
I'll tell you what, there's no chance of me being able to stay up into the fourth quarter. I tried last night, a third quarter. Oh, no. Can I move up a little bit earlier? That'd be nice. All right, not only are the Warriors banged up, but the levees are banged up across parts of the Mid-South and Arkansas. Here we go. This levee's been threatening to fail all week long, and by the grace of God, as one official said, it has held, thankfully. The Arkansas River beginning to come down a little bit, but there's still a lot of pressure on those levees. Meanwhile, in the west, we mentioned fires. Here's another one for you in Cordelia. A grass fire breaking out out there. PGE in Northern California taking preemptive measures to shut off power this weekend because they're worried about fire.